Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Thursday.
Story's given me life this morning. A misshapen tree in Calgary has been causing calls for 15 years. It's along, a busy roadway. It's up kind of on a slope, so it's a regular occurrence for people to see it, and then the phone calls come in about a dead tree at the specific roadside location. Sometimes people demanding, you gotta get rid of this tree, pick it up already. It's been sitting there, just dead. So Calgary Parks investigated. They have investigated several times over the last decade and a half, and they've now posted about it, saying, hey, the tree, guys, hey, it's very much alive and actually thriving despite harsh conditions. You know, it's a tough, stubborn little thing that has grown up to be very weird. And there's a lot of us, I think, who can relate to that. So we say, keep it up, tree. Don't let anybody bother you. Just keep living your life. Keep doing what you're doing. And add in that it annoys a lot of people on their way to work. Oh boy, I can definitely relate to that.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
Diving in, The Who, they got rid of their previous drummer, Zach Starkey. He was with the band for quite a while, but apparently wasn't up to snuff, and they would be infighting while on stage in front of people, and now they've got a new person. Scott Devours has been announced as joining them for their upcoming tour, and he says that the weight of responsibility is enormous. Have to imagine that there's probably some anxiety, although it's not like he's brand new to the scene. He actually previously drummed in Roger Daltrey's solo band, and has kind of been in the same areas as the members of The Who anyways, bumping shoulders, bumping elbows. Judas Priest, they're going to be getting a documentary that is going to be co-directed by Tom Morello. The Ballad of Judas Priest is the title. I love that, and it's, of course, going to be focusing in on the entire 50-year career in a way that fans have never been able to access before. New album announced by 21 Pilots. Their 8th studio album will be called Breach, and though they haven't given an exact date, they've said that the follow-up to 2024's Clancy would likely be arriving September of this year. So stay tuned to find out more from them. And that's it for Music News this morning.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
Looking forward to a really hot weekend. You might have already taken care of it with the long weekend that just happened. Maybe you were even more on the ball. But I'm just saying, it is lawn chair season now starting, and I want you to double check that last year's chairs, or at least the one that you haven't seen through the winter months, are still functioning as chairs. They're still chairing it up. I speak from experience. You have a little bit too much faith in that sucker. The nylon's gotten a little tired, a little old, a little sun-bleached, and you're going right through. Right through. In fact, Marina, who you hear on the weekends here, let me know, this didn't just happen to me. It happened to her, and with not one but two of her chairs. In fact, her only two lawn chairs. R.I.P. May they be gone but not forgotten. So, just saying, double check. Don't put too much faith in it, because you never know when one more ass might spell disaster.
Friday.
I don't know if you've heard of Project Cauldron, but if you haven't, it's time to get your mind blown. I was telling a friend about this last week. Blowing their mind. They're going, no, it's not. This is a fake thing. This sounds like the setup for a movie or a TV show or something. Not in the realm of reality, but this was an idea that was floated, at least at the idea stage. I don't know if any action was ever taken. Project Cauldron was an idea in the late 50s to get the oil out of the oil sands using nuclear explosives to the tune of 100 of them. Smaller size than you might use in warfare. This was definitely extraction technology being put to use by a guy who actually wasn't even in Fort McMurray at the time, though he knew about it. A guy named Natland, who was in Saudi Arabia and was watching the sunset on the southern desert and thought, hey, well, that kind of looks like a nuclear explosion. You know what would be a good idea? Sorry, Natland. Not a good idea. And it wasn't too long before we figured out other ways of extracting that oil from the sands without blowing everything around us up. Would the oil still even exist at that point? I don't know. Glad the plan never got any legs, but they were thinking about it. Pure annoyance on top of the anger and the frustration that you would feel if your vehicle got stolen, but then you got hit by that vehicle as it was being stolen. Apparently a guy in Wetaskiwin here in Alberta named Sheldon Taylor, I guess somebody's jacking his truck, Not up, but I mean from him, getting some trash out. And I guess he got hit by it. He went over the hood onto the pavement. He said he's just grateful that there was no family around for the incident. His minor injuries, thankfully, as well. He's not like super destroyed by this. But got to be on some level, mentally, emotionally destroyed by it. I would be so angry. It says it's just gone. And also saying it's not giving him a lot of confidence in the amount of police presence that is around the Wetaskiwin community. Saying it needs to be boosted up because, well, his vehicle just got boosted right in front of him. I gotta say, though, I'm a little confused as to why anybody's stealing cars in Wetaskiwin in a joke that would absolutely annoy Sheldon Taylor even further. Don't you know that cars cost less there? In the latest edition of Thanks, I Hate It, standing seats on airplanes. They've apparently passed safety regulations and could be coming to economy airlines as early as next year, cramming 20% more human sardines into the airborne aluminum tubes. I'm still waiting for the day when I get to be in one of those sleep pods where you take up even more room on the plane. Never had to experience that. Probably get to experience this first. Yay! First of all, if you're going to be making people stand, don't call it a seat. Don't sell it as a seat. You're going to have some issues with that. Second of all, 20% more people also means 20% more luggage. Does it not? And no airplane has enough room on it for that as it is. So I don't know how you're addressing that issue. I guess, airlines could try to spin it, though. Make their flights sound important and exclusive. Standing room only on this flight. Oh, I wonder why. But honestly, won't somebody think of the poor people who insist on standing up as soon as the seatbelt light turns off? How are they going to feel like a hollow sense of control over the situation if they're already standing? We got to think about them too.
Hey Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
A Bruce Springsteen cover band has been saying it's too risky for them to play. They were going to be doing a show in Jersey Shore on May 30th. We're told, nope, not going to be happening. As well, the owner of the bar, the venue, saying, no, I never said that, so there's something weird going on there. Ultimately, the band saying, we don't want to do it. It's feeling a little too dangerous. It's a safety concern. Negative vibes were the reason. And saying, this is not political for us at all. Even if Bruce is making his speeches, we're just a cover band that's trying to make some money and people rely on it financially. We're the ones getting really hurt. Some very poor me energy. Maybe if you're going to be pretending to be Bruce Springsteen and his band, stand on business. Metallica, they're extending their already record-breaking tour, the M72 tour, into its fourth year, as they've added dates that will last into 2026 and across UK and Europe. And of course, it's all in support of the 11th album, 72 Seasons. They started this tour in 2023. Absolutely wild. And sad news to end off on, there was a plane crash, a small plane hit buildings in San Diego. And unfortunately, there were a couple of members of the music industry involved. There was the loss of Devil Wears Prada founding drummer Daniel Williams, as well as a music agent, Dave Shapiro, among other fatalities in that plane crash. Somebody really needs to capitalize on the nostalgia for eating in a place that looks exactly like an early 90s Pizza Hut. There are a few that still exist, whether being a full-fledged Pizza Hut still. I saw that just one exists in Pennsylvania, for instance. Kind of a drive, but some people have just kept the look, though they've become a mom and pop spot since, no longer just a Pizza Hut. Then you've got the other section of former Pizza Hut buildings, the ones that still have the classic roof shape but have become something completely different. A different business, maybe even a home in one case. Make this Pizza Hut a pizza household. But bring those vibes back somewhere is what I'm asking. If you can also make sure that there's a promotion where I can get a free personal pan pizza for reading a half a dozen books, even better.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.